Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Nick here, and welcome back to Not Available. I think it's the name we're going to go with. NA, Nick Albano. Kind of makes sense. So, today is Monday, September 8th. The Sunday slate of games is over. We had Thursday night. We had our Friday night game. We still have Monday Night Football tonight to be played. We'll probably talk about that maybe in my video I post Wednesday or Thursday. And we had some Yankees baseball that we'll talk a little bit about today. So let's get into it. So the first topic we're going to start with today is the Broncos win yesterday. As predicted, I think everybody kind of took the Broncos to win this game. They won 20-8. Depending where you took it, you either got the spread at 8.5, 8. So Titans managed to cover. Good for them. I think a lot more people took this game to be a blowout. The offense was really hyped up this offseason. The defense really showed out. They proved that they are, no question of a doubt, arguably the top defense in the league. They had 6 sacks yesterday. Let's see if we can find the defensive stats on the game yesterday. So, as I was saying, the Broncos defense had 6 sacks on Cam Ward. The defensive line and outside linebackers off of every snap was quick. Everybody that I've seen talking about it said this is the fastest defense that they've seen. Bonito and Jonathan Cooper on the edges are incredible. They played amazing. Sherrod played incredible. Zach Allen had a sack. Everybody on the defense had an incredible game yesterday. So it was a really good sign to see that, because a common occurrence you see in the NFL is that the offense usually gets the fast start to the season, and the defense is the one that's like playing behind. I think this for the Broncos is good, because we know our offense can be good, and we had a slow start to the season yesterday offensively. The first drive was looking good, and then for the next quarter and a half, it didn't look good. And then it ended off decently, besides the last 4th down play, which Sean Payton has his reasonings for going for that play. But to see the defense come out like this, 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 12 QB hits, no touchdowns allowed. This game at one point should have been 20-15. If you remember, we're getting to the 4th quarter. Punt comes, and Marvin Mims, who's an all-pro punt returner, it happens to the best of them. The defender got in his face. The ball came down. It hits him off his chest. Titans recover the ball. But you know what the defense does? They get 2 crucial sacks to put the Titans out of field goal range. So defense getting off to a hot start is big. Pat Surtain, I think, should be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. Winning it last year and then coming out week 1 and allowing only 1 catch to Calvin Ridley for, what was it? I think it was 2 yards. And he was not targeted at all other than that one time. He allowed 0 yards as the closest defender other than that. So picking up right where he left off. So really great signs from the Broncos defense. Now the offense, on the other hand, not amazing by any means necessary, but not awful. If you looked around the league yesterday at quarterback play, you saw that it was a slow day for offenses. It was not a lot of scoring. Quarterbacks did not play great. And there seems to be a common occurrence now that these starting quarterbacks aren't getting these preseason reps. So you're doing all this offseason work, but you're not getting real game reps. So when you're put into these game scenarios, it's just not great looking. And we see with Bo here, 25 for 40, over, what is that? 65% completion percentage, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and was only sacked once. QB rating QBR is an awful metric to go by. So his 2 interceptions. First interception was in the first quarter of the game. At the end of the first quarter, honestly, it wasn't a bad play, just so much that Bo had the deeper route open, And this was a like 45, 55 catchable ball. So here, we'll take a look at it. So as you saw there, it was a 50-50 ball. We go back a little bit. So we got Bo rolling out to his left side, which they did a lot in the first quarter. I think they wanted to try to like show that he's not just a one-sided rollout quarterback, which he did great in this game, actually. This is just like a unfortunate play. So we'll slow it down a little bit. We got Bo rolling out, throws it. You look, if he planted his feet a little more, he had Mims. But you know what? He went with his guy, Cortland, which if you look here, this truly is a 50-50 ball. If Cortland cut rather than kept going diagonal there, he probably does come down with that ball, or it's just an incompletion. But, you know, it went the Titans' way, and that happens. Now, if we go to the second interception, which came right at the beginning of the third quarter, here we go. We got Bo rolling out to his left again, turns back, hit as he's throwing, picked off. Now, if he's not hit as he's throwing, does he make this pass, or is it just an incompletion? We don't know. But again, we saw what he was trying to do there. He tried going, I believe, who was that? Franklin. He tried going with there. It was just an unfortunate pick. And then one more turnover. I believe this is it. We have early on in the second quarter, Bo's fumble, which he did not fumble last year. I don't remember him having any fumbles. If he did, maybe one or two. But he's not known to fumble the ball. And he took accountability for this. He didn't have both hands on the ball, and that's what 101 of quarterbacks. Once you only got one hand on the ball, if you get hit, that ball's coming out. So we'll watch it here. My bad. That was the play before. We'll go to the next play. So, Jeffrey Simmons, the Titans' best player, just beats his assignment here, as we see. Gets him off of him. Not much Bo can do. Comes from the blind side. Hit, fumble. So, by no means did Bo play great. But as I was saying, if you look around the league yesterday, and look the whole league, we could look at Thursday night's game. Dak and Hurts, 188 passing yards, 52 passing yards. Let's look at the box score for a more complete. Dak, no passing touchdowns. Jalen, no passing touchdowns. Let's keep going. This game, this was just a shootout game. Can't even compare that one. We look here, a top quarterback in Joe Burrow, 113 passing yards, 1 touchdown. We look at these games. Jaden Daniels, I know he did some stuff on the ground, but 233 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Lawrence, 178 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Goff, only 225 yards, 1 touchdown. So, if you look around the league and you look at who it is, not a high passing yard game. This wound up becoming a shootout. High passing yard. So, overall, was it a great game? No. But is there a lot to take away from this game that we should be happy for as Broncos fans? Of course, this partnership of RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins is only going to get better. RJ had 6 carries for 70 yards. Granted, he had a breakaway run for over 50 yards, which is the first time the Broncos had a 50-yard rusher or a 50-yard rush, I think, in over 3 or 4 years. JK, he took the bulk of the carries, but you know what? Got the touchdown. Healthy scratch for this game was Jaleel McLaughlin. Today was the third back in this game. And I think Jaleel should be the third back. I think the chemistry he has with Bo is much better. I think he seems like the better receiving back. He proved it last year. I hope next week we get to see a flip-flop of Bidet and Jaleel, and it really is who is the better running back for this team going forward. Bo had 8 carries for 18 yards. We know what he could do on his legs. He didn't have many rushes in this game or as many yards as you would usually see, but with 151 rushing yards is great to see. Then we go to the passing game. Of course, the main guy was Court, 6 receptions, 61 yards, and a touchdown. His touchdown was your typical Court touchdown. It was a thing of beauty. Let's go watch that. And so here we have Court's touchdown. Why the whole thing that is money every single time. Every time that's going to be a touchdown. If you get that one-on-one matchup and you throw that ball up the court, he's coming down with it. So, great game as usual out of him. Next leading receiver was Troy Franklin, 4 catches, 44 yards on 6 targets. Can't help but be happy. I think he's just going to continue proceeding to get more and more targets. I think as Bo, this is not what Bo's line is going to be going forward. Typically, if he's throwing for 25 completions, he's getting at least 250 yards, which means everybody here is getting more out of him. So, great game out of him. Evan Ingram, only 3 catches for 21 yards. This has happened with Sean Payton that week 1, just like we tried to act like so complex. And then when we start doing like the just simple things that like work, that's when we actually start moving the ball. So I'm hoping next week we come out. I think Evan Ingram will have a bigger game. And all these guys will just be producing more. Tyler Burdett, who we spoke about. Marvin Mims, 3 catches for 12 yards. Nothing great, but like I said, as Bo produces better, this yardage and receptions number will be higher. And then we have, our bottom line guys. Trent Sherfield, he had 2 penalties on him that were kind of like drive killers, that were blocking penalties on screens that he would just get caught up in the DB's jersey and pads. So, but like I said, I think they're gonna clean that stuff up. Fumbles, Bo had one. Marvin with the muff punt. Then our defense, everybody's talking about it. Like I said before, they played incredible. Tano Funga forced the fumble. He forced the fumble on Tony Pollard early on in the game. 6 sacks as a team. What was it? 12 QB hits. We're going to lead the league in every defensive category this year. So I'm not worried for the defense at all. What I am worried about, and it is week 1. What I am worried about is, I don't know, because it is week 1. The offensive line seemed a little bit like a step behind. Seemed a little, they didn't play horrible, but it just seemed like things they were doing last year, they weren't repeating. I don't know if there was an issue with the transmitting of the play to Bo, but it seemed like just the receivers were lining up in the wrong spots. They didn't know their correct formations line up in. We had an issue. I think it was Lucas Kroll that Bo Titans came out in zone defense, and Lucas Kroll goes out. And in zone defense, find the hole in the defense, and then stop. Lucas Kroll is open, and Bo sees it. Bo goes to hit him, and rather than stop, Lucas Kroll just kept running, and a first down play right there that easily is another 15, 20-yard pickup could be turned into a waste of a down. So, I mean, again, next week we got the Colts, I believe, to the Broncos. Yes, we have the Colts. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But hopefully we just clean some of that garbage stuff up. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Broncos fan, you can't help but be excited. Listen, Bo had not a great game, but you can't help but be excited that we have 2 running backs with the capability to actually produce for us. Wide receivers that actually make plays, and one is always a main staple of the team, a defense that is gonna lead the league. If we look through all these games, and you could call me a biased fan or not, listen, you're not going to win games with 4 turnovers, but the Broncos did yesterday, and the offense is only going to get better. If you look at all these games, I think if this Broncos defense went against any of these teams, and Bo plays to just medium standard, I think very easily they could have, any team that they played, they could have won. Let's go game by game. This Cowboys-Eagles defense, this Cowboys-Eagles, both of them. I mean, if Jalen Hurts isn't going to throw the ball and our D-line is going to just keep him, surrounded, what are they going to do? I know Jalen Hurts can throw the ball. But the way our secondary was playing and how much impact the D-line had, versing the Eagles is not a scary thing. And if our offensive line just picks up their play, which I believe they will, when the Broncos play the Eagles later on in the season, it's a winnable game. If they would play the Cowboys, it would be a winnable game. I think they are just straight up better than the Chiefs. They just are. The Chiefs' defense looked very vulnerable, and their offense without Rasheed and without Worthy, and even if you gave them Rasheed and Worthy, is not great. I mean, I have Pacheco in fantasy. I hope he turns up, but their running backs are not great. Kelsey, if he didn't have the one breakaway touchdown pass, he wouldn't have had a great stat line either. We look at the Chargers. Like I said, I don't think the Chiefs have a great defense this year. So, I mean, Justin Herbert, when he's at the top of his game, is a top 6-7 quarterback. I don't see Quinn Johnson doing that against the Broncos. Pat Surtain's going to lock up Ladd if that's who they're putting as their one. Riley Moss had a great game. McMillan had a great game. Ended the game with a forced fumble. Jade Barron played good. Our linebackers played good. Talanofunga played good. Greenlaw didn't even play. Singleton played good. If we get to Herbert and we're forcing the pressure, winnable game. This Bucs team isn't much different than last year. They should have lost this game probably. Falcons, same thing. I think we're better than the Bengals. I know we're better than the Browns. I know we're better than the Dolphins. I know we're better than the Colts. I know we're better than the Raiders. Better than the Patriots. Better than the Cardinals. Better than the Saints. Better than the Steelers and Jets. I feel like the Broncos are better than any of these teams. You take their roster top to bottom. These are the two best teams in the league. And then the Packers. But you take the Broncos roster and compare it to anybody else. It's just a top 3 roster. So let's go through the games and through my predictions now that I had. So Monday night yet to happen. I have the Vikings winning this one. Friday, I took the Chargers. I said the Chiefs are not going to be what they've been. I think the defense is lackluster. I think their offense is lackluster. And I was right. I mean, take away the one broken play touchdown to Kelsey, this game looks even worse for them. Chargers, I said, are going to be a formidable team. Amari Hampton didn't get as much play as I thought he would. Najee didn't get any play other than one reception. Do I think Quinn Johnson and Keenan Allen are going to maintain this level the whole season? No. Could they? Maybe. But took the Chargers, they won. Bucks, Falcons, I took the Buccaneers. Michael Penix, a real good quarterback. He is very good. And being out Darnell Mooney and your only real receiving weapon was, we could go look at it. Your top receiver was Bijan, but half these yards came off of just one screen pass. Top receiver was Kyle Pitts. Drake London didn't even have a good game. He should have had a touchdown. He should have had 2 touchdowns. And then he injured his shoulder at the end. They're saying he's going to be okay. Once again, I hope so. I have him in fantasy. But Drake London didn't even have his best game. And you're working with Ray McLeod, who is a formidable receiver, wide receiver 3. And then you got Casey Washington, Kadero Hodge. But you put Darnell Mooney back in this offense, and they're going to win games. They are going to win games. The NFC South is it's going to be, a 3-headed race, really? Not really. It's going to be a 2-headed race. Carolina looked awful. New Orleans looked awful. And then it was just Atlanta and Tampa Bay. So, that's big to get the win, a division win in week 1. Off of your toughest opponent in the division. But, like I said, Penix is great. We'll see if he can maintain this play. So far, he has in his few starts he's had. Baker, another great quarterback who did not have a great game. 67 yards, yeah, he had 3 passing touchdowns. And one of them came at the basically very end to win them the game to Ibuka, kind of on a busted coverage, but it works. Hey, points is points at the end of the day. Bucky Irving, 14 for 37, but he had a receiving touchdown. They're going to be good. Both of them are going to be formidable in the NFC. Bengals versus Browns. I took the Bengals, even though I spoke about how the Bengals tend to get off to slow starts. They finally broke that curse. Now I think they have 2 week wins with Joe Burrow. Their defense is not great at all. And the Browns' offense and defense is not crazy great. I'm not saying this is how the Bengals are going to... I'm not saying that's how the Bengals are going to be all season. But if this is what the Bengals team is going to be, I can't see them making it far in the AFC. I know Joe Burrow is going to turn around. I know Jamar is not going to have 12 receiving yards. But you know what? Everyone wants to talk crazy about the Broncos, but when the Bengals win 17-16 with that quarterback play, that's all I'm saying. But I took the Bengals. Now, the first game I got wrong, Dolphins versus Colts. The Colts were honoring Jim Irsay's Ring of Honor yesterday. Besides that, don't let the 8 points for Miami trick you at all. This was a blowout. Daniel Jones won the quarterback competition for the Colts in the offseason, and he looked good. 22 of 29, a touchdown pass, 272 yards. I thought the Dolphins, while I know they don't have a great defense, offensively would have just, made this a shootout. I thought it was going to be a shootout, but Tua he looked awful. He looked awful the whole game. 2 really bad picks. Just wasn't completing it. Achan's going to do Achan things. Nothing crazy, but nothing bad. Tyreek, 4 catches for 40 yards. This is just this is depressing to see if you're a Miami fan. You were hoping, all right, we had a down year, we're gonna turn it around. Waddle's gonna have a comeback year, and it's just not what's gonna be. And if you're a Colts fan, you can't help but be happy. I mean, Daniel Jones, if he could just play like this all season long, now is he going to? Probably not. But if he could play decent, be on a good O-line, and not get killed like he did on the Giants, who knows how great he could be. Jonathan Taylor played every snap of the first half. 18 carries, 71 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns. He went down in the third, and I don't know if they ever discussed what it really was, but I think it was the fact that they really kind of were just blowing out the Dolphins. They didn't really need to play him. So they ran with, I believe, rookie DJ Giddens, and he looked good too. As Jonathan Taylor ages, he could be serviceable for them. And we look at receiving. Michael Pittman, I took him in a season long to have 750 yards. Look at him today. Yesterday, 6 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. My thought process when he had Flacco, when he had these QBs that can actually just throw a ball to their receivers, he had over 1,000 yards. Daniel Jones can throw a football. He throws a pretty spiral. He throws a good deep ball behind a good O-line. He'll complete some passes. 6 for 80 and a touchdown. Expect a resurgence here from him as well. Tyler Warren is going to wind up being probably the best tight end this year. I mean, Brock Bowers obviously is in that conversation, but Brock went down with a knee injury yesterday. They're waiting on x-rays. He says he's fine. We'll see. But Tyler Warren, 7 catches, 76 yards. Everybody on that team said, we could just throw it to him every play and we'll win games. He is that much of a difference maker for this team. He's going to be incredible. Then we have some of the other guys. Kind of upsetting that Josh Downs, 2 catches for 12 yards. I know we kind of was a game time thing with an injury, but we'll see if they turn that around. But, if you're a Colts fan, can't help but be happy. You got the Broncos next week, which the defense is the complete opposite of the Dolphins. So we'll see what happens there. I got the Broncos, of course, but you never know. My next game I was wrong on, Raiders and Patriots. Do I think the Raiders are good? No. Do I think the Patriots are good? No. Listen, any game, first game of the season, things are going to happen. Patriots had the Chip Kelly offense and play action got to them. Look at Geno. He had 62 passing yards, touchdown, interception. JT did not have a great game. He had a touchdown. Bowers is going to be great. Look at the Patriots. May had a good game. Travion Henderson, kind of expect more out of, but first game today, 103 yards. Can't be upset about that. Wind up losing by a touchdown. Again, low-scoring game. I don't think the Raiders have a good defense. I don't think the Patriots have a good defense. Christian Gonzalez was not playing. Christian Gonzalez was playing. Is this how the score is? Maybe, probably not. But again, 2 teams that I'm not really too worried about. Good for Pete Carroll and Geno getting their win. It just makes it harder for the Chiefs to get first place in the AFC West. Let me go to Cardinals Saints. We don't got to talk too much about it. I took Cardinals. I said the Saints are going to be the worst team in the league. Rattler had a decent game, but this team is just not good, the Saints. I don't think the Cardinals are great either, but Kyler did not have a good game. I guess it depends on your standard of game. 163 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. Rattler, 214 yards, no touchdowns. Look at the running backs. I mean, the Cardinals said James Conner and Trey Benson. They said they were going to be 1A, 1B. They were going to be splitting around, and Trey Benson was their leading rusher. Receiving, Marvin Harrison. Maybe year 2 breakout year, sophomore year. Receiving leader for the Saints was Juwan Johnson. And Kamara doing Kamara things. Only 45 rushing yards. I said the Saints team's going to be awful. Kamara's their only really good offensive weapon. Olave almost got killed again by that Will Johnson hit. That was expected. Steelers, Jets. I took the Steelers. The Jets, as much as I am from New York and I support the Giants, I gotta give the Jets credit where credit's due. Fields played a great game. Breece Hall, welcome back. Garrett Wilson had a great game. Their defense, not so much of a great game. You started off early with a sack, and then you kind of just fell off. I mean, you held them scoreless 1 quarter. Revenge game. Aaron Rodgers, he's a bad man. You take away his Achilles injury. He never injures his Achilles. Who knows what the Jets could have did? Who knows how his mobility would be? But 244 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. He was only inaccurate on 3% of his passes yesterday. Jalen Warren did not have a great game. DK, 4 catches, 83 yards. Expect this to just go up more. As this Steelers team gets it going, expect it only to go up. But also to their defense. I mean, do I think Justin Fields is going to improve or get worse? I don't know. I feel like this is going to be average for him. I think Brace is going to go for 100 every game. Probably not. But to the Steelers defense, this goes to my point that usually defenses start slow in the beginning of the season and offenses are hot. You expect both these teams' defenses to turn it around. But, for as much as we talk about the Steelers and Jets defenses, to allow each team that wasn't really predicted to have really great offenses, you expect that's the main talking point they're probably having watching film is all right, listen, we could have won this game 34-17 or what happened. We could have won this game 32 to also 17. So, great games out of both of them, but Steelers there. Giants, Commanders. Now, I'm a Broncos fan, but I'm from New York. And from New York, I support the Giants. I went through the Russ experiment as a Broncos fan. And I tried defending him at the time. Then last year with the Steelers, he had a good year. Nothing great. I don't know what's wrong with Russ. Something has just seemed off for years with him since he left the Seahawks. No team should go from Daniel Jones, who now looking at the Colts maybe wasn't the problem, but the thought process was no team should go from Daniel Jones to either Russell Wilson, Jameis, or Jackson Dart, and the receivers get worse. You're telling me that Malik Neighbors only had 5 receptions for 71 yards. I think he had 13 targets. It's embarrassing as Giants fans. And Dable committed to Russ as the starter before the season started. Then after the game yesterday, he's oh, well, he won't commit. What is going on? I thought there was a QB competition. I thought Russ was the starter. I thought we weren't rushing Jackson. Jackson is listed as QB2 on the depth chart. Are you now going to say, oh, we're just going to put Jackson in? Or are you going to kind of be oh, well, Jameis is getting the shot first before Jackson? And then you just have Russ. I don't know what's going to happen there. 44 rushing yards from Russ, you also can't put the whole blame on it because, what are we doing here? Tyrone Tracy, 10 rushes, 10 carries for 24 yards. Singletary, 3 for 9. Gadabo, 2 for -3. His carries were just bad, situational carries. But, what are we doing here? I expected this this is what I expect from Wan'Dale Robinson. So is this. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this team. Does this team get better if you put Jameis in? Does it get better if you put Dart in? Is the offensive line just that bad that you're not getting pass protection or running any sort of run blocking? But then also, you look at the Commanders. They also did not have a great game. And I said the Giants are going to have a good defense this year. Jay Daniels, 233 passing yards and a touchdown. He had how many rushing yards? 68 rushing yards. If this is how this Commanders team is going to be, like, maybe they'll get a wild card spot, but I can't see them, like, going far if you're only putting up 21 against the Giants. Like, maybe the Giants defense really is just that good and held them to 21, but their secondary isn't great. So the fact that Deebo Samuel, was your leading receiver with 77 yards, and we have Terry McLaurin, who had 2 for 27. This is a stat line when, like, Terry McLaurin had Sam Howell at quarterback. Shouldn't be with Jaden Daniels, so I took the Giants as biased there, so I was wrong. But I think the rest of the games I got all right. Jaguars, Panthers. Last year Bryce Young ended on a hot note with his last 4 games. He went 3-1. Like, it was like, oh wow, he's turning around. You look at this game, it doesn't look like much has changed here. 154 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Lawrence didn't even play great either. 178, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Chuba Hubbard was like their only, and Tedero McMillan actually were like their only bright spots. The rest of their offense did nothing for them really. Jacksonville, though, you have some exciting things to look forward to. Travis Etienne, I said in my prediction video, resurgence of Travis Etienne. 16 carries, 143 rushing yards. At the end of last year, or the middle of last year towards the end, they thought it was going to be like a changing of the guard. Tanks Bigsby taking over. But it looks like otherwise, Travis is like, hey, don't forget, I'm the guy here. We look at receiving. Braxton Strange, a tight end, leading the receiving. Diami Brown had a great game. Travis Hunter, 6 for 33, not bad. Brian Thomas Jr. only went 1 for 11, but he also had a rushing touchdown. So good job from Jacksonville. Might be another scary year for Panthers fans. Broncos signs we spoke about. 49ers Seahawks. I took the 49ers if McCaffrey was playing. He did. And if we look at the box score as to why, I said I'm taking him if he plays. 22 carries for 69 rushing yards. 9 receptions for 73 receiving yards. If your running back is doing that, like, you should be winning games. Purdy had a good game. 277 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Once he settled in, like, he looked better. Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings went down again with, I think it was a shoulder injury as well. Like, Ricky Pearsall is going to be that guy. Like, his average target was 27 yards he was getting a catch. Expect this reception number to go up because you're not really working with much here. Ayuk's out. You got no more Debo. Who knows what's going on with Jawan Jennings? So we'll see what happens there. The Seahawks, on the other hand, this is where it gets a little interesting and scary for some fantasy owners. So it's Sam Darnold. Was it the Kevin O'Connell offense that made him look good? Who knows? 150 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. The rushing is where the scary part comes in. Kenneth Walker has been the lead back there for 2 years, and he's been great. Last year he had some injury problems, but otherwise great. There was rumors going around that, like, the offensive coordinator and rumors there were like they like Zach Charbonnet a lot. They took him with a 2nd-round pick a year ago. Does this become a committee, or is Zach Charbonnet taking the job? Zach Charbonnet had 12 carries to Walker's 10, 47 yards to his 20, and he had a touchdown opportunity and scored. Maybe it was just situational and there's nothing to worry about here, but who knows? Seattle is in a tough division. I think the Rams are going to be, the 49ers are going to be good. And who else is that? The Cardinals in the division. Like, they'll be okay too. The Seahawks might be last in this division or 3rd. And if you are at that point and you get to mid-October, early November before the deadline, and your team isn't in really a playoff situation, do you, like, trade away K9 for some picks? At that point, I think you have to. I said the same thing about the Jets. The Jets aren't in a playoff picture come late October, and you have Brees and Braylon Allen, who Braylon Allen was the one that they talked up being like the guy kind of. If you're not in a scenario there, do you trade away Brees for some picks or something to help you guys continue building the future? With the receiving, I mean, everything went to Jackson Smith and Jigba. 9 catches, 124 yards. Cup, 2nd receiver, 2 for 15. Listen, I think Darnold's gonna be fine. I think he'll go back to his normal self from last year. I think Cup's gonna get better lines than this. But another team, if you're a fan of Seattle, scary times. Lions, Packers. I took the Packers. Neither quarterback played fantastic, but if you're a Packers fan, you gotta be excited. Jordan Love, 188 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 16 for 22. Josh Jacobs, obviously the lead back there, 66 yards on 19 carries and a touchdown. You're receiving. There's a lot of talk that Matthew Golden's going to come in and be the clear wide receiver one in this offense. Shaden Reed was questionable. Romeo Doubs has been up and down. Dontavian Wicks had a down year not a down year, I can't say, but didn't have as good of a year as expectations had him. And Tucker Kraft, is their reliable tight end. But you know what? Do I think this is going to change? I think Golden will eventually become the clear wide receiver one there. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the spread of the ball, Romeo Doubs, 2 catches on 4 targets. Reed, 3 on 5. Wicks, 2 on 2. Kraft, 2 on 4. Golden, 2 on 2. The target share is not far off, but you got to be happy. And for your defense played incredible. The line was getting to Goff. Micah had a sack first game. He looked great, and he didn't even play every snap. You look at the Lions. Is it scary times again in Detroit? Yeah, you kept your team together, but you lost arguably the coaches that made you guys what you were. You lost Aaron Glenn to the Jets, and you lost Ben Johnson to the Bears. Goff, 225, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. David Montgomery was the lead carrying back. And even though Gibbs had 9 carries, I mean, they weren't far off, but nothing great. I mean, Gibbs had one run for 14 yards. You take away those 14 yards, he was averaging less than a yard a carry. Receiving, I mean, Sam Laporta back, yeah, great. But, I mean, Amon-Ra, 4 for 45. Gibbs, 10 for 31. It's the most receptions and the lowest yard total ever. Jameson Williams, they spoke a lot about him being more prominent. I mean, maybe it was just a week 1 jitters. Last year they came out the Lions and beat the Chiefs week 1. Pretty sure they did, right? Pretty sure they did. But, I mean, this year they lose, so who knows what's going to happen next. Texans, Rams, nothing too crazy here. I said this Texans team is going to be bad. CJ Stroud had a great rookie year, sophomore slump, and it looks like this year, it might be the same scenario again. You're rushing with no Joe Mixon on this offense. Nick Chubb, 13 for 60. Not bad, but you had no other running help. You look at your receiving. Nico Collins, 3 for 25. If you could just cut off Nico Collins, this is what's going to happen, and they're not going to score. And their defense is not bad, but I mean, who knows? I don't think they're going to be good. Rams, Stafford, this happens every year that, Stafford backs. He will be fine. The Rams will be fine. 245, he had a touchdown, no interceptions. Aaron, great as always, 1866 and a touchdown. Receiving, Puka, 10 for 130. He left because he got cracked in the head, which should have been a penalty. Head was bleeding, catched up, came back, and still got the scoreline. Devontae, 4 for 51. Everybody else only got 1 reception. Clearly, you could put your top guy on Puka. It's not stopping him. Rams, I think if the Rams are able to get one more weapon, this team could do stuff. They could go far. But I mean, if you're just relying on Puka and Devontae, we'll see. I'm rooting for them. And then we have last night's game, which was this might be the game of the season, and it's week 1. Bills versus the Ravens. I took the Bills. Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL. He might win MVP again this year. And if it came down to Lamar and him, you can't argue, because guess what? Who showed up more in the game when they went head to head? Josh did. Lamar, 209, 2 touchdowns. He threw basically 75% completion percentage. Not bad. He almost had a perfect QB rate, perfect quarterback, perfect passer rating. Josh, 400 yards almost. 394. 2 touchdowns. Got sacked only once. These are impact quarterbacks. These quarterbacks win you games. One quarterback did more to win their team the game. And I was watching that game, and I'm not going to lie. 2-minute warning hit, I turned my TV off. I said, I'm going to bed. I said, I don't know what they're going to do. Wake up this morning. I was like, I hope they won. I checked my phone. What do you know? Josh Allen saying, have a little hope in us. And they won. Look at the run game. James Cook. This is going to be like the average for him. 13-44 touchdown. Josh Allen 14-30. 2 touchdowns. This is why if you have him in fantasy, it's just you're never out of a game. We look at the Ravens side. Henry, 18 for 169, 2 touchdowns. Lamar, 6 for 70 and a touchdown. Henry's taking a lot of slack for his fumble that in the end wound up costing the game. But when you put your team on the back that much, your one fumble, you can't take that much heat for. Like, your defense let you down. And talking about defenses letting them down, Keon Coleman had 1 catch, I believe, going into the fourth quarter and ended with 8, 112 and a touchdown. And the touchdown came off like a bobble, crazy play. Tight ends had great games. Everybody had a good game for Buffalo. DeAndre Hopkins had that amazing one-hand catch. Well, I mean, look at this spread here versus the Ravens. The Ravens aired the ball out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. Buffalo aired it out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 guys. Now, I'm not saying all 10 guys you have to worry about, but when you have this much, like this many skill guys you could work with, compared to you threw it to Zay Flowers 9 times. 9 times out of your 19. Half of your passes went to Zay Flowers. And he had a great game. 7 for 143 and a touchdown. Again, is this a kudos to their offense for this? Or is it both teams just have a bad defense? The Ravens have talked about having a top tier defense. I mean, I don't care how great the Bills are. Like, I mean, we could talk about the Broncos. Oh, Broncos had a great defense and gave up. True. But if they verse again later on in the season, would it be 41-40? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But these are two teams that, I mean, question marks about defense, so we'll see. And like I said, Vikings I got tonight against the Bears. But yeah, that's that for going over this week's slate of games. If we look at next week, I'm going to make a separate short form video about this, but you guys get to see my predictions for next week. Jaguars, Bengals. Honestly, tougher game to predict because if the Bengals play how they did this week, they could lose, but the Bengals should win this game. Giants, Cowboys. My biasness wants me to take the Giants because I think like they might actually come out and do something. I'm going to go Cowboys. Lions, Bears. Not going to make a prediction yet. Depends how the Bears play tonight. Rams, Titans. I'm going to go Rams. Patriots, Dolphins, Patriots, 49ers, Saints, 49ers, Bills, Jets, Bills, Seahawks, Steelers. I'm going Steelers. Browns, Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens. Broncos, Colts. I'm taking the Broncos. Panthers, Cardinals. I'm taking the Cardinals. Eagles, Chiefs. I'm taking the Eagles, Falcons, Vikings. I'm going to wait until tonight's game. My first feeling wants me saying Falcons, but it depends on the Vikings play. And then Monday night's game, Bucks, Texans. I got the Bucks. And then Chargers, Raiders, I got the Chargers. But going back to this Lions-Bears one, even though they're playing tonight, my gut feeling says Lions, but we'll see how it goes. So, and then Thursday, I guess I didn't say Commanders, Packers. So that's all for football. Let's go talk about some Yankees. So, look at the Yankees. At one point, we were 6 games above 500. I think at this point, we are now 17 games above. So very, very big, very important. If we go back to about a month ago, let's go to the beginning of August, let's say. Or actually, we'll go to the end of July. So post All-Star break, rough series against Toronto. Well, that was before the All-Star break, I believe. Right? I think so. Post, we had Philly. We lost 2 out of 3. Probably should have won 2. Lost. Had Tampa Bay. We won 3 out of 4. Miami is where our August started that we're like, hey, we got some easy games we need to win. Lose game 1 to Miami, heartbreak fashion with the new bullpen. Lose game 2 to Miami, heartbreak. Lose game 3. Honestly, it was Luis's first game back, I think. He just didn't play good. Then we had Texas. Lose game 1, heartbreak. Lose game 2, heartbreak. Win game 3, thank God. Then we get Houston. Lose game 1, heartbreak. What's the heartbreak common occurrence? Devin, probably Devin and the other ones. And we lose game 3. Then we get into a slate of games that were like, hey, like, we're versing bad teams right now. We need to take advantage while we can. Win 2 of 3 against Minnesota. We win 3 of 3 against St. Louis. We win the 2 against Tampa. Now we get to Boston. Like, hey, we're on a little streak here. Let's prove we can win these games. Lose 1, should have won it. Lose game 2, could have won it. Got blown out in game 3. We win game 4. Okay, let's take this win and build off of it. Sweep the Nationals. Should have swept the White Sox, but we lost. Now we get to the part of our schedule where we're like, hey, all right. Like, we got a wild card spot. We're probably going to make the playoffs. The division is in reach, but we have a hard stretch of 12 games coming up. First series against Houston, who we just lost the series to. At Houston, it's at Houston. We go in, we win game 1, Fried with the win. Should have won game 2. Williams loses the game again. Game 3, we win. Then we're like, all right, we did our job for our first series of the 12. We went 2-1. Now we got Toronto, who's leading the AL East. Like, if we could beat Houston, we could beat Toronto. Schlittler, who's been like one of our better pitchers, got sent ahead so that way he wouldn't be so tired. But like, Toronto just killed him in those first 2 innings. They had him to like 40 pitches in the first. It was unfortunate. We lost, whatever. Hey, we got to win these next 2. We win game 2, we win game 3. So far, so good with our job of winning like these series. 2-1 against Houston, 2-1 against Toronto. We're 4-2 in this rough stretch. Now we have at one point, which was the number 1 team in the MLB. We have the top AL team in Detroit. I see them. I want to say that I could see the possibility of a sweep. I think we win this game. This game, it depends. Warren is so hit or miss. He'll pitch great for like 4 games and have a dud. So we just got to hope his last game was a dud, which I believe was did he pitch here? I think he might have pitched his Houston game. Should hope his last game was the dud. And this is like, he has one of those games that he goes 5-6, 1 earned run, and we have the lead 4. I think we win this game. Flaherty's been not great, but last time we versed him, did we verse him early in the season? I don't know, but when we versed him in the playoffs, we jumped on him and we still lost. So, and then Schlittler will bounce back. We'll see who they pitch. It's not going to be Scooble, so should be a win. Then we got Boston, which is the last tough stretch of the season. They've had our number all season. We finally were able to win one against Toronto. Hopefully we're able to win one against Boston. Gil versus Giolito. Giolito's been great for them. That is a toss-up game. Fried versus Bello. Bello's been great for them also. We'll see what happens. And Warren versus Crochet. Both times we versus Crochet, he's dominated us. If it wasn't for the Aaron Judge home run in the bottom of the 9th, it would have been no hit. Well, not no hit, but it would have been a complete game. So we'll see. And then we have a weak stretch of games that, like, if we're able to win again 2-2, and Toronto loses like 2 here and 1 here, and we're a game behind, this is an easy stretch. Minnesota's not pitching their ace in Joe Ryan. We could easily sweep. Baltimore's been not terrible, but easily could win 3 or 4. Chicago easily could sweep, and Boston again easily could win 2 or 3. And right now our record is 80-63. 80-63. All right, so we look at 80-63 with the remaining games left. I think it's like 19 games left. Let's say we win 2 of 3 in Detroit, so that puts us at 82 wins. Let's say we win 2 of 3 in Boston, 84 wins. Sweep here, 87. 3 or 4 here, 90. Sweep here, 93. 2 of 3 here, 95. This team could be a 95 win team that a lot of people are like, oh, maybe 89 wins and we'll get in. Oh, we can win 90 plus games. We need to play our best ball now. Why does that also help us? Our bullpen has been used a lot. We're off today. We then play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games straight. Then we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 straight, 1 off, then 6. If we're able to finish with 93 to 95 wins in the AL, how could you not have us either as a 1 or 2 seed? Let's look at Toronto's upcoming schedule. I think they actually have an easy schedule, so we probably even won't get it. All right, Houston. Never want to root for Houston, but it would be nice if Houston could win 2 of 3 here. Baltimore, we just saw what happened with the Dodgers. The Dodgers had a no-hitter through 8 2/3 innings and lost. They could easily win a game here. Take a game from Toronto. Tampa can easily take a game or two. Kansas City, they're fighting. They're fighting for that last spot. Are they going to get it? Probably not. But, if they're in a spot, they're like, hey, like, if we could get a sweep here, like, it puts us, like, right there. Boston, formidable, and then same thing. They got a tough stretch to their schedule at the end here. And then if we look at the Tigers' remaining schedule, they got us. They got Miami, who you never know what they can do. Cleveland, who usually puts up a fight, hasn't been great this year. Atlanta, Cleveland, and then Boston. Boston, that could be a rough last 3 games for them. That could decide the first or second seed. Cleveland, I mean, if they play their game, they could easily take 1 from Detroit, even 2. Atlanta's been playing better ball recently, so we'll see. And then Miami, they're like a wild card. You never know what can happen with them. So don't count the Yankees out yet from getting either 1 or 2 seed. So we go to not tonight. We go tomorrow. What do we got? We got Warren versus what is it, Mise on the mound. We'll see what happens. Hopefully get the win, and that's all. But that's all for the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. We went over a lot today. We went over the Broncos. Why not to be worried about them? We went over the week 1 slate of games. I gave a quick little amount of predictions for next week's games, and then we spoke about the Yankees upcoming series and how they could secure the first or second seed. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and come back for more. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.